guess that's me. I guess I'll do it, yeah. This is recreation, this is mayor, okay. Brian's here. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for your patience. We had another barn burner upstairs, but appreciate everyone's patience, and we'll get going here. Wendy?
Good evening. I hereby announce that pursuant to Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the notice which was sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and posted on the bulletin board in Township Hall, and filed in the Township Clerk's office on January 3rd, 2023. Mayor Lucarelli,
Here.
Mr. Impreviduto is absent this evening. Mr. Bontempo,
Here.
Mr. Foster,
Here.
Ms. LaMountain.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Wendy. Can we have everyone please stand and pledge allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can everyone please stay standing for a moment of silence for our troops abroad who have perished defending our nation? Thank you. All right, so first order of business is going to be we have a proclamation. Wendy, is that going to be the first one? Yeah. Okay. And I left my glasses at home. So we have a proclamation. It's for the American Red Cross is a humanitarian organization that provides aid, emergency assistance, and disaster relief in the United States. And whereas former New Jersey educator Claire Barton founded the American chapter of International Cross in 1881, and for the past 142 years, the Red Cross has aided and provided hope to people during their most difficult moments. And whereas nearly 90% of Red Cross workers are volunteers who carry out the work of the American Red Cross by giving blood, teaching first aid, and making donations. The American Red Cross is responsible for providing 45% of donated blood, training over 2 million CPR students, and responding to over 60,000 disasters annually. Therefore, Mayor Domenico Lucarelli, on behalf of the Holmdel Township, do I hereby proclaim March 2023 as American Red Cross Month in the Township of Holmdel, and urge all community members to support their great work of this organization, especially by answering the call to donate blood, as they assist those communities in need around the world. I have requested that the American Red Cross flag be flown over the township flagpoles adjacent to the United States flag and the flags of our armed services. And I think today they came and put up the flag. I couldn't make the ceremony, but
Yes.
everything went well, Wendy?
Yes, it did.
All right, thank you very much. All right, next we're going to have public. Is there anyone here from the American Red Cross? Please come up, sir. Yeah. My apologies.
Good, how are you? Nice to see you too. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for all you do, and I would like to present that proclamation to you. Thank you very much. Would you like to say any words?
Yes, on behalf of the Red Cross, particularly the Red Cross of Holmdel, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. Township Committee, thank you. And the Township, thank you. We were talking about the Red Cross. Most people know us for blood drives. And with that regard, particularly since COVID, we thank the Senior Activity Center very much because as of 2021, we were able to have more than 11 blood drives and collect over 453 pints of blood. So for that, Holmdel, thank you very much. We do a lot with disasters, as everybody knows, but we also do smaller disasters. Family fires, unfortunately, happen, and we're there to provide relief together with the first responders. So once again, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. At this time, we will take public comments on the agenda items only. You could please come up to the front, say your name and address for the record. And if there's anyone in the audience right now who would like to get up, please raise your hand. Mr. Lupi, please come up.
Hello, everybody. Lance Loopy, Line Road. Just some questions, sorry. Last month I'd asked about this copier, $1,403 and change, and I was told it's a leasing agreement. I'm having a difficult time wrapping my head around that. First of all, it's listed as a maintenance agreement, and I don't know what kind of copier costs $1,400 a month. I mean, I think I could rent a pretty nice or lease a pretty nice car each month for that amount, so I'm just confused what this thing does. Just baffled by it. So there was an item on the disbursements for gas pump camera license. Not sure what that is. I know that last year sometime there was talk about putting in a gas pump on township property somewhere. I'm not sure if that's what it's for.
Okay.
Although, because I do see our police at Exxon still, so I'm not sure what's going on there. So I'm just curious what that was. A lot of items for police towing I see each month. I just was curious, do we get reimbursed for that each month, or from the whoever's cars were towed, I guess. The Verizon, again, I brought it up last month. I did a quick search. I saw that there's some government contacts for contract negotiations with them, so I'm happy to share those with anyone that might be interested in trying to identify opportunities for us to save money with Verizon, since we send them so many checks each month. So we send them one check, but for so many different things. And the volleyball court, the agreement talks about that the town is responsible for a bunch of other costs, and I'm wondering what those other costs are and what the estimate is for those costs, just to kind of get an idea of the total project cost. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. So the copy machine contract, I believe we explained this last week. Bill, do you want to repeat or elaborate on that?
Yeah, the copiers for the copiers throughout the building also includes all the regular printers. So that's one, we lease everything, it's one contract for everything on both levels.
Okay, so it's not one copy
it's
machine,
not
it's
one
the whole
copy.
building, it seems like.
Yeah, the towing fees were reimbursed. We tow the cars to the impound yard, and to get the car back, they do have to pay us the towing fee plus the storage fee. And regarding Verizon, we will be moving off Verizon, so those bills will disappear pretty soon.
The gas pump, what was it again, Lance? Was it
That's
gas
the
pump what?
Yeah, we have a camera.
Camera.
Yeah, we have going to put a camera there. We have to get a license for the camera. Again, it's over the internet, so we have to have a license for it.
And the gas pump is at the DPW. I believe that was a diesel tank for their equipment and their trucks, not the like the patrol vehicles that you're referencing. The volleyball, that is that was part that was an approved improvements that the town made last year for the swim club. These volleyballs are up at the swim club. I don't know, other than I think it was $19,000. Yeah. You're saying there's other costs. I'll review that and get back to you. I don't know what other costs are. I don't know if that's maintenance in perpetuity, but I can speak. Yeah. Other than what's on that resolution or for the $19,000, I don't know of what other costs will be. Okay, I'll look at that. We'll look at that for you. Okay. We'll find out. I don't know. You're welcome. Is there anyone else that would like to has any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Moved.
Wendy?
Mr. Bontempo?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mayor Lucarelli?
Yes.
Resolutions 2023-116 through 2023-122 have all been passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. There's no ordinances on the agenda tonight, so at this time I'd like to ask our, we'll start with Bill. We'll skip and go right to Bill for our CFO, if any updates.
Just one update. We had a number of people whose tax payments arrived very late this quarter. We'd recommend that instead of relying on the post office, if you could sign up for direct withdrawal, it comes right out of your bank account. I know we had at least 25 of them that were, postmarked substantially earlier than we received them. So please sign up for the ACH, and you won't have to worry about paying interest on your taxes.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Mr. Delaney, any updates this evening?
Just an update that also involves the finance office, but budget preparation continues. Last week we concluded our departmental meetings. We will be compiling the information. There are a couple of committees that we will be reviewing the capital needs with. Then we expect that come April will be our meeting with the governing body, a date to be determined for final preparation. We plan to introduce the budget at the, what's our current target date, Bill? Hopefully the second meeting in April. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. We'll go to boards and committees, and we can start right down at the end. Committeeman Bontempo.
Thank you. So for the Holmdel Library, just some numbers to share. I'll keep it brief. Last month they checked out over 2,500 individuals came into the library, checked out items from the library. More than 4,000 people visited the library, so the library is getting more and more active. Library with the new librarian, Trish, she's collaborating with the school library media specialist at the SATS Holmdel School, the process to make it easier for students to obtain a full access library card. Some of the upcoming events, Trish has been very proactive running events, weekly Wednesday movie nights, book club on the second Thursday of every month. That's gotten very, very popular. April 24th, naturalist Debbie Hadley from the Wild Jersey will present and teach kids about a rain stick. On the 26th, child safety seat checks. It'll be in the Bellworks library parking lot. That's the blue parking lot in the building. They're also doing programming microcontrollers in conjunction with iSims, one of the tenants of the Bellworks building, and the organization Girls Who Code. May 15th, Read to Dogs for school-age children. Very popular program they're running there. And June 7th, Chinese opera and traditional arts is being offered. For the veterans, we're holding our first veteran. I don't think I have any of my veterans in the audience tonight, but we're holding our first veterans meeting for the quarter this Thursday, March 3rd. The veterans are going to meet at the Bellworks at our township meeting room, which is adjacent to the library. Speakers, myself, the administrator, representative from the New Jersey Military and Veterans Affairs Department is coming in to speak to the veterans. Some of the topics we're going to be talking about are the veteran capital flag program that we're going to be running this year for them. Also the Naval Weapons Station Earl retirement event for Captain Callahan. Those who may have been here or saw our December meeting, we had Captain Callahan, who's been very gracious for our veterans. He did a private tour last fall for our veterans of Naval Weapons Station Earl. They got to see kind of behind the scenes, behind the gate that many people probably drive by on 34, some of the bunkers where they keep the munitions, we'll call them, and then actually saw one of the military vessels being loaded on the pier that was going out somewhere in the sea. And then we're also running a veterans discount program that we're going to be initiating for some businesses in town. And then after that, the veterans are going to get a kind of behind the scenes tour of some of the things, so make them a little familiar with the building as well. Tomorrow, March 29th, is National Vietnam War Veterans Day. We are proud here in New Jersey to have the New Jersey Vietnam Memorial right here in our building. We actually had an event for our veterans last year at that center in Holmdel. It was quite remarkable, and I encourage people who've never been there to stop in and visit. It's usually open almost every day. It's run by volunteers, many who served in the Vietnam War, and they have a lot of stories they could share if asked upon. And they do a very nice job with their exhibits and presentations over there. And then we're working on a musical performance for 9/11. We're in the preliminary stages right now. The Veterans Program is collaborating with the Holmdel Library on a possible performance of the Arcadian Choral on the anniversary of September 11th, and that'll be held at Bellworks. More details to come, but we're working on putting something together themed around our veterans. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeeman. Committeewoman LeMountain, do you have any updates this evening?
Just that our community development department is running very smoothly. No hiccups, no issues to share with you. They did share with me some suggestions in terms of safeguarding your important documents. They suggest having what they call a survival flash drive, which is a flash drive containing all of your important documents. So in the event of a flood, fire, or some other emergency affecting your home, you at least have copies of all these documents on your flash drive, and obviously keeping it somewhere safe in a fire protected box or waterproof box, so that if you do suffer one of those events, you have that. If you are interested in learning about some fire prevention safety tips, our fire prevention office has updated its website with over 60 different important fire safety tips for residents. And if you are lucky enough to have a swimming pool, the township now offers, it's not mandatory, but it offers an electrical inspection and an accompanying bonding grounding certification for your swimming pool, spa, or hot tub. And again, it's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended. And you'll have the opportunity to have an electrical contractor test your pool's grounding and bonding, give you a peace of mind, and that certificate is good for 5 years. So that's all.
Thank you, Committeewoman, and your little bit of your attorney background there. I like that. You get a little free advice. Committeeman Foster, any updates, please?
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. So just a couple things. Holmdel Police Department, just a reminder, spring break is next week. Please remember to set your alarms in your homes. Residents can also contact the police department to schedule house checks if they feel that's needed. The Neighborhood Watch had a meeting last week, which was very well attended. If any resident lives in a neighborhood that does not have a watch group and would like to start one, please contact Captain Michael Piggott. And our first license plate reader was put at an undisclosed location in town, and there will be 4 additional ones installed in the future. So that's good to hear that that's moving forward. The fire department, they are welcoming a new firefighter, Vincent Tuberion. He has passed his background check and physical. We hope to have him listed on the next agenda meeting for Township Committee approval. The fire department also did a recruitment night at the high school this past week and had about a dozen names that are interested in the cadet program. The new fire truck is the truck committee is scheduled to fly to the Pierce factory in Appleton, Wisconsin on the 17th of April to conduct a final inspection of the new ladder truck, and we should be receiving it shortly after that. And they did another training drill in March, which was a second communications drill that focused on working closely with mutual aid companies to improve interoperability at fire scenes. And in regards to public works, leaf and brush pickups will begin the first week of April 3rd. Everybody's favorite large item drop-off is back, and our first one will be on April 8th at Bell Works. And then just a reminder, the Holmdel residential shredding event will be Saturday the 15th in the Public Works building. And then I just wanted to add, with Committeeman Bontempo and speaking about the Vietnam Memorial, it is quite moving. It took me quite a while to get up there and see it. I was, kind of embarrassed about that. It's a treasure we have here in town, and it's awesomely, very well done. And the veterans who take you around the property, the grounds, make it very interactive. So if you can get up there and check it out, I highly suggest it.
Thank you, Committeeman. So this evening, our deputy mayor is not available, so I will first start with some of his department updates. The Recreation Department, this Saturday, April 1st, is our Hippity Hop Egg Hunt. This event is for children aged 3 to 10 and will be held at Cross Farm Park. The event is free, but pre-registration is required. There are still a few spots left for the 12 p.m. and other time slots. All the other time slots are now filled. Recreation staff is monitoring the weather forecast, and we're hoping it changes, and any updates will be posted on our rec department and township Facebook pages. Swim club renovations, preparations are already underway for this summer season. The following improvements have been taking place at the swim club. The tennis courts have been completely reconstructed. The 1-meter diving board has been replaced. Intermediate pool has been resurfaced. The volleyball courts have been refurbished. There's new lanes. There's main pool surfaces repairs and new lifeguard stands. There's a Board of Education meeting will be held. They will have their public meeting this Wednesday, March 27th, at the high school media center at 7 p.m. The meeting will also be accessible via Zoom, and a link posted to the district webpage 24 hours beforehand. I want to give a congratulations to the New Jersey Seal of Biliterary recipients. This school year, 25 of our Holmdel High School seniors and 25 juniors earned the New Jersey Seal of Biliteracy across 7 languages. The Seal of Biliteracy indicates recognition of a minimum proficiency level attained by a student in at least one language in addition to English. So congratulations to them. Also, we have a congratulations to also due for our SAT school flutist, Renee Whitmore, for winning second place in this national competition for woodwind musicians in Nevada this past weekend. So congratulations to her. This Bayshore Greek Festival, the Holmdel Heritage Committee encourages residents to attend the annual Bayshore Greek Festival, which will take place June 8th and 11th at the Kamissis Greek Church, Orthodox Church on Hillcrest Road. The event will feature traditional Greek food, live music, dance performances, games for the kids, and church tours. We also have the Heritage Committee encourages residents to attend the inaugural exhibition of Chinese classical culture and arts presented by the Renaissance Chinese Opera Society of Holmdel, and that's going to be on June 7th at the Holmdel Library, and the program includes the Chinese opera costume exhibit, Chinese calligraphy, Chinese painting and crafts. Okay, all right. And then we have the mayor's update. I wanted to inform the public. It was brought to my attention a few weeks ago, and then we had more residents bring it to our attention. But that there is a postcard that has been circulated to residents with inaccurate information on it. The postcard is made to look like it comes from the township and is labeled as a welcome kit. But it is not published by the township, and it contains inaccurate phone numbers and website information. Please disregard this postcard if you receive it, and for the most up-to-date information about the Holmdel Municipal Government, please visit our website at www.holmdeltownship.com. Let's see. Holmdel Town Hall offices and the recycling centers will be closed this Friday, April 7th, in observation of Good Friday. I want to wish a happy Easter and Passover to all who are observing. We have Ramadan. The season of Ramadan has begun last week, and I would like to wish a happy Ramadan to all of our residents and neighbors and friends who are celebrating this season of fasting, reflection, and community. Women's History Month. As Women's History Month comes to a close, and on behalf of the rest of the Township Committee, I'd like to recognize and thank all of our female Township colleagues, department heads, elected officials, police officers, firefighters, EMS, and volunteers. Thank you for all that you do to make Holmdel a better place to live and work. So that is all that I have this evening for updates. And I'm wondering, is this all future politicians here this evening? Is this a school event? Are you here for political science? So I think it's really cool. I don't know, I'm assuming, unless you're just really interested in tonight's meeting. But I'm real happy to see all the students here this evening. I think it's wonderful. I encourage you all to ask questions if you have them this evening. And at this time, I will open up to the public portion of the answers or comments. Wendy?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is a public comment period for public comment on any governmental issue of public concern. In accordance with Resolution 2022-17, public commenters are asked to raise their hand and wait to be recognized by the mayor before coming forward and making public comments. Commenters are asked to state their full name and address before commenting. Public commenters are limited to one comment, not to exceed 3 minutes. Comments should be directed to the mayor and township committee. If appropriate, the mayor may direct and recognize a staff employee or professional to respond to comments either at this meeting or in writing after this meeting.
Thank you, Wendy. At this time, we would like to take volunteers. Raise your hand if you'd like to be heard and come up. Yes, you please come up. State your name and address and speak clearly into the microphone, please.
Thomas Mann, 7 Jennifer Drive. Hello, Mayor Lucarelli and Township Committee. I am TJ Mann from Indian Hill School. Tonight, I would like to talk about the Holmdel horn antenna in Crawford Hill. To start, though, I have to go back to the beginning of December when we started a project in social studies called the Holmdel Historians Project. For this project, we had to research 3 different historic landmarks in Holmdel. For one, I chose the Holmdel horn antenna. At first, it didn't mean much to me, but soon I learned how much history surrounded the machine. The horn antenna was built by NASA to map signals from the Milky Way. With the help of Alan Penzias and Robert Woodrow Wilson, it made a discovery way bigger. The machine was pointed to a blank spot in space and found cosmic microwave background, which is the cooled remain of the first light that could freely travel through space. This proved the Big Bang Theory was accurate. Over the past month or so, the Student Council of Indian Hill has been working to save Crawford Hill. I originally shared the idea with the Student Council to make a school petition to save this historic site, and it became a popular discussion around school. Student Council members have been dedicating their lunch and recess period to help circulate petitions and obtain signatures to save Crawford Hill. As the result of our efforts, we secured over 200 signatures from students and faculty. Crawford Hill deserves to be saved for many reasons. One of them is because we are in a big technological stage in history, and this is the roots of it. It should also be saved because this location played a large role in one of the biggest scientific discoveries in our world. Lastly, it should be saved so new generations of students can learn and see the horn antenna. It would be a great spot for Holmdel students to go on a field trip to learn about science, history, and technology. There has been an increased focus of STEAM in our schools, and what better way for our students to learn about science, technology, engineering, arts, and math than to visit a historic site that encompasses all of these topics in their own hometown. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about this important matter tonight. I would be happy to answer any questions you have at this point.
Thank you very much. Well done. Great presentation. Before I ask the next person to come up, Chief, I apologize. I usually ask if do you need any time on the mic?
The only thing I just wanted to also bring up is that April 1st, we're going to be opening our applications for our youth academy for this summer. We'll run 2 weeks, 2 separate weeks. The first week is for 10 and 11-year-old kids, and the second week is for 12 and 13-year-olds. So we have 2 weeks. It opens up April 1st. So keep an eye on that. Check our website, Facebook, and we'll have all the applications on there. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Just repeat it because it might
Yeah,
be
so, for now on, I'm going to have you come up and talk into the mic, but that's okay. This is for all the folks that are watching it on live stream. The chief had just reminded everyone, anyone that's interested in signing up for the Youth Academy, April 1st is the day that the applications will open up. For more information, just visit the town's website or the police department's social media platforms. Thank you, Chief. Anyone, the next person who would like to come up, please raise your hand. Yes, please come up and state your name and address for the record, and speak clearly into the microphone, please.
Jess Burden, 15 Yellowbrook Road. I'm here representing Indian Hill School as well, and when Thomas Mann came to the student council with the idea for a petition in the school, student council immediately took action. The antenna means a lot to us as a community. It's the pride of Holmdel and therefore our pride. We refuse to stand by as it's pretty much taken away. The antenna is a huge part of not only Holmdel's history, but science altogether. We are talking about evidence that helped prove the theory that explained the beginning of the universe. It's a huge deal to us. And in history, we want to learn about the horn antenna in Holmdel, not in some museum. Student council has gathered over 200 signatures in our school within a very short period of time. The dedication of our student council members is exceptional, and it just goes to show how far we are willing to take this petition.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Tracetta, please come up.
Patrick Trusquita, 56 Line Road, Mayor and Township Committee. Tonight and last meeting, we saw an outpouring of support to save the horn antenna. The Township Committee was presented with a petition with over 7,000 signatures and with many eloquent testimonials about the international significance and importance of the Holmdel's Crawford Hill. There have been many calls for preserving Crawford Hill as a park using Holmdel's open space funding. There is no doubt that Crawford Hill site is of an international significance and must be preserved for posterity as it is already designated as a National Historic Landmark. As a 40-year Holmdel resident and a Bell Labs retiree, I support Holmdel's visionary goal to develop the entire Crawford Hill site into Universe Creation Park. This could be a public park with walking and hiking trails to a National Historic Landmark and a cosmology learning center using the existing buildings. Most importantly, the park should be developed to have the main access, visitor access and parking integrated into the PNC Art Center complex parking lots and not accessible via Holmdel Road. This would alleviate any impact to residents on Holmdel Road and avoid any increase in township traffic. The Holmdel Road entrance could be made into an emergency access for emergency vehicles only. The development of a University Creation Park and Cosmology Learning Center will continue Holmdel's legacy of being at the center of scientific and technological breakthroughs, as well as having beautiful open space parks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to come up? Please raise your hand and be recognized. Yes, sir?
My name is Michael Rauchwerk. I live at 4 Willow Road. I've lived in Holmdel for 35 years. I fully support making the horn antenna and Crawford Hill a public park. I started as an engineer at AT&T Bell Labs in 1984 and worked for its successor companies until I retired last year. Bell Labs is the reason my wife and I moved to Holmdel and raised our family here. The discoveries of Wilson and Penzias in Holmdel with the horn antenna are among the most significant in scientific history. I feel privileged to have worked at Bell Labs, to live in this beautiful town that played a role in these discoveries, and where Robert Wilson still lives. It is imperative to preserve the horn and its historic site for the benefit of future generations, preserving Holmdel's part in this achievement. Economic studies have shown the following positive points of preserving such a park. Our taxes will be less by making it a public park over developing the land. Houses near the Crawford Hill property will increase in value, being next to open space. The cost of public services such as school, police, fire, emergency services will be lowered by making the horn and Crawford Hill a public park instead of developing the land. Studies from environmental and county planning departments show that the benefits of preservation outweighs the cost of open space purchase and loss of ratables from tax rolls. Please continue to do everything you can to preserve this historic site for Holmdel and the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak this evening? Yes, sir?
Good evening. Hello. Good evening, Mayor Lucarelli and the Township Committee. I'm Bala Prasanna. I live at number 8 Chardonnay Drive. I came here tonight to urge you to preserve Crawford Hill and the Horn Antenna as a park with public access. I worked at AT&T, retired AT&T. I'm currently a director-elect for an organization called the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, that is IEEE. I wanted to comment that science and open space are what make Holmdel Holmdel. Our storied scientific legacy is a source of pride for residents. Here is a part of a letter written to you, Mayor, from Dr. Michael Jezalowitz, IEEE History Center on January 10th, 2023. He writes, I'm writing in support of your organization's efforts to preserve the Holmdel Horn Antenna. From its origins in 1959 to support the Echo communication satellites, the Horn Antenna was a major engineering advance with profound impact on both technology and science. In 2014, we, that is IEEE, dedicated 4 plaques recognizing the major achievements of Bell Labs, including the first observation of the cosmic background radiation. Before Silicon Valley even existed, New Jersey was the birthplace of fundamental electrical and electronic technologies and discoveries. It would be a disservice to the town, state, and nation if the public lost opportunities to engage with and appreciate this globally important object in its historic location. That's what the director writes. So let me continue. I would also like to add that Crawford Hill will make a wonderful public park. Those who have visited the Horn are well aware of how beautiful the area is and can imagine trails climbing up from Holmdel Road with views of farmland below and a sweeping panorama of the Raritan Bay and Manhattan at the top. At the highest point of the property, which is also the highest elevation in Monmouth County, there is a flat, grassy hilltop surrounded by trees that would be perfect spot for gathering place like a community pavilion or picnic area. The property also has connectivity potential with the PNC Bank Arts Center and Holmdel Park. We have even heard stories about how runners from Bell Labs were allowed regular access to PNC through a gateway that was always left open. Perhaps someday there could be valuable greenways and wildlife corridors linking the properties. I will wrap up by saying that all residents should have access to this site both to honor our scientific history and for recreation purposes. I hope you will do all you can to protect the character of Holmdel and preserve Crawford Hill as a public park. Would be such a shame to lose this piece of our history. Please keep residents up to date on your efforts, and thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and just for the record, I do get a lot of emails from a lot of people, as you can imagine, and I do forward those to our administrator for preservation and printing and copying. So thank you for that, reading that. But I do get quite a bit of them. Is there anyone else? Yes, Miss, please come up.
Nina Decker, 39 Stony Brook. So I want to just say that I appreciate what everyone is saying about the park and preserving a landmark in our town, and that's the reason that we all live here. But as a mom, I just want to put something on the record. So we have two girls in 5th grade and kindergarten, and our classroom sizes are already over max. We're about 25 kids per grade. So I'm concerned that there's private meetings going on and that there's a proposed housing for this development. And I've heard that it's up to 100 to 200 units. That would be a lot and a big strain on our community. And I just think that if you're going to look at building large development like that, like our schools we need more classrooms, we need more funding, we need larger schools. We're already at capacity. So That's it. Thank you.
So, we're trying not to comment much on what we're doing and having the discussions that we're having, but I can just say that that's not accurate. So, most of what you said as far as the amount of homes or what type of homes or anything is just that's not accurate. But again, not that we're having discussions with them and in favor or not in favor, but we are actively, working with them. But we're more actively working as a committee on making the right decisions for Holmdel. But again, I just wanted for the record, just so you know, that's not accurate. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to respond, but at the same time, there's certain things I can't say.
Through the mayor, when we're dealing in the land use setting here, and specifically with a pending redevelopment application, it's appropriate for the township committee to be discussing these active negotiations in executive session. And if you look at our executive session resolutions, this has obviously been a topic that the committee has been looking at probably each of our meetings this year. It's important in order for the committee to carry out its obligations to the residents to negotiate in good faith, and to do so having those discussions privately and working with the applicant to see if something can be achieved. And given the fact that information sharing is limited when we're in active negotiations, a couple of meetings ago, the mayor read out a pretty lengthy statement, which was prepared, having reviewed it in advance to ensure that we were protecting the township's interest in what was being shared. And I would encourage any interested resident to refer back to that statement, because I think it specifically addressed some of the issues and aspects that have been raised, including the current process and the visions of the township committee.
Thank you. Very eloquently, not the way I can present that, but I appreciate that, counsel. Is there anyone else that would like to please raise your hand? Okay, sure, no problem. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yep, I got. Thank you very much. I was going to say give them to the bailiff, but we don't have a bailiff. There was someone that raised their hand over here. Yes, sir, please come up.
Hello, Mayor and Township Committee. I'm part of the lineup here. Mike Miracle, 14 Chardonnay Drive. So I moved to Monmouth County 40 years ago to also work for Bell Labs, and been a resident for 30 plus years. My wife was born and raised in Holmdel, and so obviously we have a lot of interest in the history of the town.
Would you mind just speaking, because we have people watching on live stream and they want to hear.
Oh, is that not close enough? Or?
That's
okay.
perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So I want to add my voice to why saving the Big Bang horn antenna is important to us. First of all, others have advocated very well why it's a win-win for the town, and so I don't want to go into a lot of detail on that. But certainly, it's National Historic Landmark. We'd like to see it kept where it is, not put into a museum, as somebody stated earlier. And it's just an important part of our scientific legacy, just as the Bell Works building is, and the transistor tower there, et cetera. And I think we can all be pretty proud of what's happened with the Bell Works, and I think we can be equally proud of a park that's put at the Crawford Corners there, Crawford Hill, sorry. Second, it's a beautiful wooded property, and I think people have talked about that before. It's a very high property. It has great vistas. It'd be great, and actually I was very impressed by the presentation before that talked about how to reduce the access and the burden on Holmdel Road, which of course is a problem. And finally, just to mention an important point too, it's really at the headwaters of the Swimming River Reservoir. And so it's a very important property for us to preserve as part of our legacy of preserving our waterways and our water and reservoirs, et cetera, for the town. So finally, in summary, kind of preserving the horn, can have a really dramatic effect, as you saw with the kids today. And I think that would be an excellent idea for them to tie that into the school programs, into the learning. So I was really impressed by the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I see any other hands? Yes. Hi, Karen.
Karen Strickland, 26 Hayward Hills Drive. I'm speaking right now as a member of the Holmdel Environmental Commission, and just want to remind everyone that on April 30th, we're having a Earth Day celebration at Bayonet Farm from 12 to 5, I'm sorry. All activities are free, and there'll be shows for the children, there'll be tours of the Harding House, there'll be live music. So everyone in the community is encouraged to come out on April 30th to Earth Day Festival. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. And I saw your email. I saw your email today for that, and I'll ask if the clerk could have that on the updates for the whatever the next meeting before that is. If we can put that on as an update for the maybe recreation or something like that, so we can remind everyone for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, please come up. State your name and address.
I'm Valerie Beatty, and I live at 39 Stony Brook Road. I wanted to just say an idea that we could do for the Holmdel Horn Antenna along with the parks. Maybe like we can have like the schools like visit it for like one of their field trips or something. Cause like sometimes we like visit places in like Philadelphia, and I think maybe it would be cool for all of us to go somewhere in Holmdel.
That's a great idea. Unfortunately, right now it's private property, but so that's just not something that we could probably do. But that's a wonderful idea, and I'm confident that we'll be able to do something like that in the future. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and speak? Okay. Yes. I know that.
Lance Luby Line Road. Great job by everyone. Great to see everyone out here doing that, as others have commented before. And I think that's not much more to say. I think everyone's behind saving that property and preserving that technology and the invention and everything there and the discoveries. The no turn, I brought this up before, no turn on red and on line in Bethany, and I did speak to Officer Minoski about that. I know there's some roadblocks with the competing towns. He did reach out. I'm happy to step in. I guess I'm sure he's got a peer on the Hazlitt Police Department of Public Safety, so maybe I'll do I have some connections over there, so maybe I can find something. Several months ago, I'd asked about a left turn light into the school, high school. Tremendously difficult in the morning to get into that. I mean, we have a left turn signal at the next intersection at South Holland. So I'm not sure why we can't figure some way out to get a left turn signal there to kind of alleviate some of that. I mean, the majority of the traffic is coming the opposing way, so trying to get there and get the kids on time. I mean, I see we have officers sometimes at dismissal, and I would think that it's more important to get children to the school on time than get them out of school on time. So that would be where I would probably try to focus our efforts. Again, brought this up, maybe we can have an officer at the entrance at the traffic light to direct traffic. I don't recall pole barn update on the budget versus actual, where we were on that. And, I tried to look through the minutes and agendas from the prior meetings. We had mentioned something, there was some proclamation about a sister city. I couldn't find it, though. And the only reason I bring that up is because if you saw the news about the...
Yeah, in Newark? Yeah. This is, it's not on the agenda yet, but ours is
Maybe
legit.
it was just a
I'll say,
comment.
yeah.
Maybe it was just a comment that was made at
so
a meeting.
we
'Cause I remember
are-
hearing it, I just didn't know
We
what
are
it
going to
was.
be doing something,
Okay.
but
It's
I'm
legit.
sorry, I didn't want to interrupt
we-
you. Do you have more?
No, that's it. We've
Okay.
checked it out, though. I mean...
Yes, yes. That was an interesting news piece, and I think they're all pretty embarrassed about that. But no, ironic, as a joke, we were Googling it while we were discussing it. But that is something we are going to be moving forward on, to partnering them as a sister city. But it's a legit organization. The pole barn update. Bill or Jay, do you have anything on comment on that?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'll provide that information and distribute it as needed.
Thank you. And then the left turn signal, I'm guessing I don't know, was that east? Okay, right. Yeah, you're right. There is no left turn signal there. It's just the light turns green, right? So we'll look at that. We'll speak. That has to go through the police department, traffic safety. That's something that I'll follow up with the chief on and the traffic safety officers. Then there's other issues there that we're looking at in general with the traffic patterns with the schools. So we'll follow up on that. Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment? Anything? Well, I want to thank all the students for coming out. It's really nice to see. I know you weren't mandated to do this. I know you did it all voluntarily, and I know you all wanted to be here. And I think it's wonderful, and I appreciate all of you coming out, and your parents, obviously, that drove you here. Thank you very much, and I would like to make a motion to end the meeting.
Moved.
Second.
Wendy?